For City, new leaders over in League One, that's right, as they lead the charge ahead of Stevenage, that's right. Goodness gracious me, what's going on in League One? We're going to get up to it next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today it's all about match number 10, that's right, in League One. And of course, it is a absolutely bonkers league at the moment. Goodness gracious me. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe. You want to subscribe for League One, Blackpool Rovers. Woo! Football, we're going to all here under one brewski. That's right, Bradford City are top of the table, goodness gracious me. Stevenage are in hot pursuit. Behind them is Lincoln, that's right, goodness gracious me. Where are the big boys? Where are the supposed big boys? Well, we'll showcase you those in just a second. If you knew where you've been, hit the old subscribe. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. So what we're going to do now, though, is bring you bang up to date with the results from last time around, showcase you the table, and of course, that long-awaited update for the prediction league. So let's get into it then, shall we? Here we go then. Kick it on back to, of course, the results from last time around, and these were those. Blackpool with a cheeky 1-0 win over Barnsley. Just when you think it's all over for Stevie Bruce, he pulls that one out of the bag. Bolton Wanderers put 4 past their bitter rivals Wigan, 4-1 on that one. Lincoln City with a 3-1 win over Luton. Goodness gracious me, got nothing right. So actually did get the bottom one right, but nothing really going right for the big boys. Meanwhile, Cardiff again losing to the table toppers Bradford City, 3-1. I went the other way. Doncaster losing to Wimbledon, 2-1 at the Keep Moat. Huddersfield Town could only draw against Burton Albion, goodness gracious me, and Plymouth losing at home to Peterborough United. Port Vale picking up a shock 2-1 win over Mansfield. I went with a 1-0 win. Reading with a 2-1 win over Leyton. Orient. I went with a 1-0 win as well. Rotherham did lose at home to Stockport. Got that one close to the mark as well. Stevenage with a 2-1 win over Exeter. I went with a 1-0. And Wycombe Wanderers back to winning ways with a 2-0 win over Northampton. So I did all right. I did have a little bit of a wobble at the start there, but ultimately I brung it back in. Brung my predictions back in to showcase you just why I am the prediction king. Anyway, what does the table looks like? It looks like this, guys. It is Bradford City. It is Stevenage. And they do look good right now. Well, Bradford City definitely look good. Lincoln are on a charge right now. Non-stop shot for them. But the big boys, Cardiff in 4th. Luton Town all the way down to 11th. Plymouth in 17th. And of course, don't even get me started on the likes of Blackpool, goodness gracious me. But it is still early days, plenty of drama still to be had. But yeah, a refreshing vibe for the league at the moment. Speaking of league, we have our own prediction league, and this is it, of course, guys, the one you've been waiting for. I know I've been slow or lazy, if you like, but it's just been mad stop stuff here. And of course, it doesn't get much easier for me because it's double match week next week. So I thought, you know what, let's do it. Let's get you bang up to date. So here is our very own prediction league in the current state of play. Taking into all the match days so far, and this is it, guys. It is Andy Speak up there with 40 points, Jimmy Watton's up there alongside with 36, RTR 1879 with a 33, and then Shepherd's in 4th with 32. Then the chasing pack, you guys can still get into it, still compete, even if your name is not in here. Guys like to take, you know, with a fleeter in, fleeter out. Just get predicting, get on, get involved, and let's see if you can start getting your name in lights. That's right. So big shout out to you guys for taking part. I know I've been a bit up in the air with it, but we're going to kick on with the next round of games, and these are those. That's right. So we're going to take a little look at it, starting with a trip to the Plough Lane, or Cherry Records Stadium. It is Wimbledon up against Wycombe Wanderers, the battle of the W's. Johnny Jackson's boys, of course, 9th at the table, 15 points for them right now, 3 wins on the bounce. Up against Wycombe Wanderers, they have got now Michael Duff in charge. Good appointment for them, strong appointment, and we're already starting to see a change of form. They won 3 of the last 4. They sit 18th right now with 8 points. They've taken on Wimbledon 18 times since 2008. 8 wins for the Dons, 4 wins for Wycombe. Has been 6 draws. They last played at this venue. It was a 1-0 win for Wimbledon. That was in the EFL Trophy Southern. That was back in August 2024. They last played in the league at this venue back in April 2022, which it was all square. Wimbledon on the back of that 2-1 win at the Keep Moat over Doncaster Rovers. Wycombe on the back of that 2-0 win over Wigan in the Cup. They are through to the round 4. That was just yesterday. The bookies odds for this one. Wycombe are favoured for this one. I don't know. I think I've gone with Wimbledon on this one. Just thinking about that now. Looking at the form, looking at the momentum. But Wimbledon at home are tricky. I'm going to stand by it. 1-0 winners. Wimbledon to take it to the house. The Orient taking on Stevenage. That's coming at Brisbane Road. Richie Wellens' boys are 14th with 11 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 4. Up against Stevenage and Alex Revel. They are 2nd, 19 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Now they're taken on Leyton Orient 25 times since 2011. There's been 11 wins for Orient, 6 wins for Stevenage. There's been 8 draws. They last played at Brisbane Road, 1-0 winners it was, way back in March 2025. The Orient on the back of a 2-1 loss to Reading at the Majewski. Meanwhile, Stevenage picking up a 2-1 win at home against Exeter. Goodness gracious me. The odds for this one, the Orient are favoured despite Stevenage flying high. I might have gone, yeah, I've gone with the Orient as well. I'm not convinced by Stevenage right now. I don't know if they're going to be there at the end of the season. They did this with a couple of seasons back where they're floating high, but then eventually the cream risen to the top. So, yeah, it could be the start of that sort of season for Stevenage, but we'll see. Another team that's trying to get into the thick of things, it is Barnsley. They're taking on Port Vale right now. Of course, it's coming at you at Oakwell. Barnsley under Conor Hoonihane. They sit 6 right now, 16 points for them. Back-to-back defeats up against Port Vale. Darren Moore, they're 19th right now, winning 3 of the last 4. In fact, just 2 defeats in the last 6. They've taken on Barnsley 29 times since 1994. 11 wins for Barnsley, 12 wins for Port Vale. There's been 6 draws. They last played over at Barnsley. It was a 7-0 win back in August 2023. Goodness gracious me. In fact, over the last 4 between these two sides, 4 wins out of spin for Barnsley. We are talking 16 goals scored in the last 4 games for Barnsley. Barnsley, though, are on the back of that 6-0 drubbing themselves by Brighton in the Cup. Port Vale with that 2-1 win over Mansfield. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. Barnsley, though, are favoured with the bookies. I'm going to go with a win as well for Barnsley to bounce back and continue their dominance against Port Vale. Meanwhile, it's the Peckerheads. It's the table toppers. It's Bradford City, that's right, who are top, taking on Blackpool, who are 22nd right now. Graham Alexander's boys are 20 points for the season. 5 wins of the last 6, including beating Blackburn Rovers in the Cup. Just want to drop that in there. Meanwhile, Blackpool, though, under Steve Bruce, back-to-back wins. Maybe the first time a bit of form for them. But they've taken on Bradford previously 12 times since 2004. 5 wins for Bradford, 7 wins for Blackpool. No draws. They last played at this venue, Valley Parade, is it? Valley Parade. It was a 4-1 win for Blackpool way back in March 2019. Blackpool have actually won 3 in the bounce. They've scored 12 goals against them in the last 3. Blackpool, though, on the back of that 1-0 win over Barnsley. Bradford with that 3-1 win away to Cardiff. That's a monster result. Probably one of the results of the season. In fact, Bradford City are in action tonight, taking on the Geordies at St James's Park. That may have a bearing, may have a factor in this game. Of course, if they win, which of course they've been phenomenal in the Cup so far, then, momentum might just roll with them, or maybe they'll have a bit of Cup headache on this one. Regardless, they're still favoured for the victory on this one. I've got to go with them as well. 3-1 winners. They just look real deal right now. Meanwhile, Burton Albion, they need a result up against Plymouth Argyle. Currently, Burton are bottom, 24th in the table, just 5 points for the campaign. But they've won 1, lost 1, and drew 1 over the last 3. Up against Plymouth and Tom Cleverley, bit of form for them right now. 4 wins of the last 5. They're 17th with 9 points. But they played each other 16 times since 2011. 6 wins Burton, 4 wins Plymouth. There's been 6 draws. They last played over at Pirelli. It was a 2-2 scoreline back in November 2022. In fact, the last 3 matches at this venue ended up at draws. Goodness gracious me. Plymouth, though, are on the back of that 6-2 win over Tottenham in the Football League Trophy South. Meanwhile, Burton on the back of that 0-0 away result against Huddersfield Town. The bookies for this one, though, they can't separate the two sides. It does feel like it could be a draw. I've gone with another one as well, just like it has been in the past 3 occasions. 1-1 right down the middle. Meanwhile, Exeter City taking on Huddersfield Town, of course, coming at you at St James's Park. Gary Caldwell's Bulls are 16th right now with just 9 points for the campaign. They're 4 defeats on the bounce up against Huddersfield under Lee Grant, just 1 defeat in the last 4. Now, they played 8 times in 2009, 3 wins for Exeter. There's been 5 wins for Huddersfield. There's been no draws. Exeter coming into this, though, on the back of 4 successive defeats. They last played Huddersfield way back in April 2025, and they came out on top with a 3-1 win. Exeter, though, losing to Stevenage most recently. Huddersfield Town on the back of a 0-0 scoreline at home to Burton. The bookies, though, will go with Huddersfield on this one, but they are in action tonight, taking on Manchester City in the Cup. So again, just like Bradford, maybe a bit of a distraction in the way of their week, but a result, I still think Huddersfield Town will come out top with a W at the moment. Meanwhile, game of the round here, Luton Town against Doncaster Rovers. Luton Town under Matt Bloomfield, they're 11th with 12 points, back-to-back defeats for them right now. Up against Doncaster and Grant McCann, they are 7th, 16 points, also on the back of back-to-back defeats. They need to bounce back and fast. They've taken on Luton Town 8 times since 2004, 2 wins apiece and 4 draws. They last played at the Kenilworth Road. It was a 4-0 win for Luton back in March 2019. That was in League One. In fact, the home side has won this game, or has not lost this game, and stretching back to 20-odd years. So Luton Town, though, on the back of that 3-1 loss to Lincoln. Doncaster also losing at home to Wimbledon. Doncaster in cup action, taking on Spurs tonight. And Luton are favoured for the victory here. I think they're going to win this one as well, aren't I? Yeah, 2-0 winners. Luton Town should win it. But if Doncaster do win it, then you know what? Let's start to really believe in Grant McCann's boys here to be contenders for playoffs. Meanwhile, Mansfield Town taking on Rotherham. Nigel Clough's boys are 13th right now, 11 points for them, but they're winless in the last 6. Up against Rotherham, Matthew Hormshaw's boys, they are 21st right now, just 1 win in the last 6. They've lost 5 of that last 6. They played Mansfield 10 times in 2005, 3 wins Mansfield, 5 wins Rotherham, 2 draws between the two sides, including a draw when they last played, of course, at the New York Stadium back in April 2025. They last played at Mansfield. It was a 1-0 win for the Stags, who are coming into on the back of a 2-1 loss to Port Vale. Rotherham on the back of a 1-0 loss to Stockport most recently. The bookies odds for this one, they'll go with Mansfield. I'm probably going with them as well. Now, I've gone with a draw here. Point split right down the middle. Not too sure about either of them at the moment. So let's just call it as it is. Meanwhile, Northampton Town taking on Bolton. That's right, Kevin Nolan's boys are 15th right now. Good bit of form for them. 10 points for the season. They won 4 of the last 5. Bolton, though, under Schumacher are 10th. They have 14 points for them, but they've got a good run of at least 9 games without a loss. They've taken on Northampton Town 7 times in 2008. 1 win for the Northampton Town, 5 wins for Bolton, 1 draw between the two sides. They last played at this venue as a 6-goal thriller, resulting in a 4-2 win for Bolton back on October the 1st. That's right. Northampton Town on the back of that 3-0 win over Chelsea in the Football League Trophy South or North, yeah, South. And Bolton on the back of that 3-0 win over Manchester City, Football League North. That's right. Coming into this bookies odds, they'll give it to Bolton. I'm probably going to go with a Bolton victory myself. Nope, leaning towards Northampton. Going for a curveball. Northampton Town have been playing well, but there's an opportunity there for an away win. Meanwhile, Peterborough taking on high-flying Lincoln City. That's right, Peterborough under Darren Ferguson. Back-to-back wins for them. They're 23rd with 7 points. Up against Lincoln under Marcus Skabula. They are 3rd, 18 points, but they are coming into on the back of a defeat. We'll talk about that shortly. Played 17 times in 2005. 6 wins for the Posh, 5 wins for Lincoln, and there's been 6 draws. They last played at this venue. It was a 1-1 scoreline way back in September 2024. Peterborough did beat Plymouth most recently. Lincoln losing to Chelsea at Central Bank in the Cup, where they did take the lead. Bookies odds on this one, they'll go with Lincoln. It's a tight one, very, very tight. Going to go with a 1-1 score on myself. Point in the bag for everybody as we try to see who's actually real contenders. Stockport County against Reading at Edgeley Park. Stockport, David Challoner, 8th in the table, 15 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Reading and Noel Hunt, they've won 3, they've lost 3. They sit 20th with 8 points. They've taken on Stockport 4 times since 1997. 3 wins for Stockport, 1 win for Reading. There's been no draws. They last played at this venue as a 4-1 win for Stockport, who've won 3 on the bounce against Reading, scoring 12 goals in those last 3. But they're coming into on the back of just that 1-0 win over Rotherham. Meanwhile, Reading crashing out of the Cup last night to Wrexham, 2-0 loss for them, and they're expected to lose this game, as do I. I think Stockport County will come out on top of the 2-0 win in their own backyard. And then finally, a bit of a crunch clash out of the DW. It's Wigan, it's Cardiff. Ryan Lowe's boys are 12th right now. Back-to-back defeats, just 1 win in the last 6. Up against Cardiff and Brian Barry Murphy, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They do sit 4th with 17 points. They've played Wigan 14 times since 2003. 6 wins for the Ticks, 3 wins for the Welsh Wonders, and 5 draws between the two sides. They last played at the DW. It was a 3-1 win for Cardiff back in October 2022. Cardiff only won 1 in the last 6 against them, but they're coming into on the back of a cup victory over Premier League Burnley, 2-1 winners at Turd Moor. Wigan losing in the cup to Wycombe as they crashed out as well. But the bookies odds for this one, it is tight, but Cardiff are fancied. I think I've gone with a 2-2 scoreline here again. Points split right down the middle. And if I'm right, which I really well hope so, this is what the table will look like after this match day. It'll be Bradford City, it'll be Barnsley, Huddersfield Town, Lincoln, Stevenage, and Cardiff going down. Reading, Peterborough, Blackpool, and Burton. Of course, lots to be had at in the league, and lots to be had in the prediction league as well. So don't rest on your laurels. Get your predictions in and let me know how you get on. Of course, double match week. We'll be back next week with lots of action. Until then, I'll see you soon. Whenever I return, whenever that is, I'm done.